After the conference, the band spoke exclusively to MTV News and revealed details of an 8-month world tour beginning in April.
We're doing a warm-up tour of Britain, playing smaller venues, theatres, starting in April, and then in May we go over to America, east to west, which should take about a month. Then we go down to Australia and New Zealand for a couple of weeks, then come back to the west coast of America. That will be sort of another month going west to east, July, August. Come back, possibly do a summer festival in England, and then
where have you got this written down?
Then we start touring. Then we start touring in Europe for 2 months, like September or October, November. We'll be touring Europe, taking in parts of the East as well.
What are we doing in Christmas?
Then we come back and play some larger.
And what time is it?
Play some larger concerts in Britain to finish off.
That's excellent, isn't it?
A new single, High, which is released in 2 weeks. The video continues the band's long-standing visual collaboration with director Tim Pope. It's been inspired by early surrealist painters.
It's us on a roof of a kind of tower that's in the middle of a desert, and it's like a mixture of drops incredibly posy-arty names like Dishirico and Alma Tadema and Max Ernst.
Alma Tadema, where did he come?
Because of the blue sky, the colours.
Oh, right.
It's very kind of surrealist, and there's sort of a story. And it's about flying and kites, and it's unfortunately it's very difficult to talk about. We've had 3 discussions now with Tim about it, and I think deep down he's as unsure about what it's going to look like as we are, so it's a bit difficult to talk about it.
Artist is The Cure, and we're going to get a little nostalgic by playing Boys Don't Cry. But before we do that, a reminder, of course, that The Cure have just released a brand new album, Wish, and rather than me rabbit on about it, they will instead.
It's called Wish, but it doesn't really have a particular mood.
It has mood swings.
Yeah, wild mood swings.
Pretty wild.
It's a record that's sort of like you finish listening to one song and the next song surprises you.
It takes you out of one mood and into another.
So I think it's quite different to anything we've done for a while. It's probably close in feeling to The Head in the Door, if anything, in that it doesn't really have an overall feeling. Although it's quite rowdy, you know, it's not constrained like The Head in the Door was in certain respect. The playing's very excellent on this new record. We always like playing ourselves down, and they asked in there, but it's very difficult because it sounds like you're showing off in front of a room full of people, whereas as opposed to talking to millions of people on camera, you can just say what you want and not seem like you're showing off. But the playing is really good. I mean, it sounds like us live, this album, and I think it's probably the first time ever that we've done an album that sounds like us. It made us think, like with Disintegration, we realised the dynamics involved, like were big dynamics, and doing the MTV thing got us back to the idea that you can be pretty dynamic in a very small kind of space. Like with Letter to Release, which is like a new song when we did it on MTV, there was like that kind of generated a real excitement, even though there's not really that much going on. There were like levels in that we worked really hard to get. And probably if we'd just gone into the studio and recorded it as an electric song, we would never have really thought about it in those terms. So it did have a good side to it. It was really dripping though when we did it.
He was his most nervous.
It's the only time I've ever been like truly nervous going to perform.